The NFL draft is right around the corner, and with every passing day, the buzz just keeps getting louder. But there's one storyline that's really starting to stir things up, especially if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Word is Abdul Carter, the explosive edge rusher out of Penn State, might be heading straight into enemy territory. That's right. The New York Giants, one of Philly's biggest rivals, could be locking in on Carter as a top 3 pick, and honestly, it's starting to look more and more likely. Now let's unpack this. The initial report came out on Monday, April 7th, but the real action started the day before. On Sunday morning, in State College, Carter reportedly sat down for breakfast with the Giants head coach. A casual breakfast? Maybe. But when you're just weeks away from the draft and you're meeting with a top prospect over coffee and eggs, it's rarely just small talk. And it doesn't stop there. Sources say Carter is scheduled to visit the Giants' facilities in New Jersey later this week. Everything about this feels serious. It's not just due diligence. It feels like a franchise zeroing in on their guy. And if they're thinking best player available, Carter could absolutely be the move. So what does this mean for the Eagles? Well, first off, it stings. Not only is Carter one of the top edge rushers in this draft class, but he's also a Philly native through and through. He grew up an Eagles fan, went to La Salle in high school, stayed local for college at Penn State, and even took his dad to see the Eagles win at the Superdome in New Orleans. Playing for Philly has always been a dream of his. But now, unless something drastic happens, he might be lining up across from them twice a year, wearing Giants blue. That's a tough pill to swallow. Looking at the bigger picture, this could be a huge win for New York. If they land Carter, they're not just drafting a solid player. They're potentially adding a game wrecker to their defensive front. Imagine pairing him with one of the league's best nose tackles. That duo alone could make life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. And if you're the Eagles, who build a championship team by dominating the trenches, you know better than anyone how dangerous that formula can be. We saw it play out in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles didn't blitz a single time. That's right, 0 blitzes the entire game. They rushed with 4 and still managed to generate 25 pressures. They didn't need to bring extra heat because their front 4 just overwhelmed the offensive line. Players like Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, and the rest of that rotation took over the game. They broke the opponent's rhythm, rattled the quarterback, forced turnovers. It was a masterclass in defensive line dominance. And now, looking ahead, the Giants might be building something similar with Carter as the centerpiece. And look, it's not just about raw talent. Carter has the full package. He's 6'3", weighs in at 252 pounds, and has the kind of burst and bend you can't teach. He's explosive off the snap, flexible around the edge, and relentless in pursuit. In his final season at Penn State, he racked up 12 sacks and 43 pressures. That's elite production. His Pro Football Focus grade? A jaw-dropping 91.2. And that's even with him nursing a shoulder injury during the college football playoff. The guy plays through pain and still disrupts everything. And get this, he didn't even test at the combine or at his pro day. Shoulder and foot issues kept him sidelined, which definitely raises some medical flags. But when you turn on the tape, it's all there. He changes games. He ruins plays before they even start. He's that rare kind of edge rusher who doesn't just rack up numbers. He sets the tone. And that's exactly the kind of player New York could use to redefine their defensive identity. Now, let's zoom out and look at how the top of the draft could shake out. Word around the league is that Tennessee Titans are eyeing Cam Ward as their next quarterback. They brought in Brandon Allen this offseason, but let's be honest, that's not a long-term solution. They've already invested in the offensive line, their defense is solid, and their head coach comes from that Zach Taylor offensive system. Everything is pointing toward them needing a dynamic quarterback, and Cam Ward might just be the guy. He's got arm talent, mobility, and poise that makes him the top quarterback in this class. Some scouts even have him as the #1 overall prospect. If Tennessee believes in him, there's a good chance he's coming off the board first. Then there's Travis Hunter. Now this is where things get interesting. Some believe Cleveland could take him 2nd overall. Others think the Giants might grab him at 3 if he's still there. But what's clear is that teams love his versatility. He can play both ways, offense and defense, and he's got the skill set to make an impact wherever you line him up. The only concern is snap management. In the NFL, it's almost impossible to play both ways at a high level for a full season. It's a grind, and Hunter will need a carefully managed workload to stay healthy and effective. That said, as a wide receiver alone, he fits perfectly in Cleveland's system. They need a dynamic playmaker, and he brings exactly that. Electrifying talent, high football IQ, great hands. He checks all the boxes. So, if the board goes Cam Ward to Tennessee, Travis Hunter to Cleveland, that puts the Giants in a prime spot to grab Abdul Carter at number 3. And if they go that route, if they decide to just pick the best player on the board, it's Carter. No question about it. That's where it gets scary for Philadelphia. Not only do they miss out on a hometown hero, but they also have to see him twice a year, now wearing the colors of their most hated rival. From a team-building perspective, it makes all the sense in the world for the Giants. Defensive lines win games. Just ask the Eagles. When you can generate pressure with 4 and dominate the line of scrimmage, everything else falls into place. Your corners don't have to cover for long, your linebackers can stay in position, and your safeties can roam free. It's how the Eagles won a title, and it's the blueprint the Giants might be copying piece by piece. And you can't ignore the emotional layer to this. Carter is Philly through and through. For him to end up in New York, that's not just a draft pick. That's a gut punch to Eagles Nation. A kid who dreamed of playing for the Birds. Now, suiting up for the Giants? That's the kind of thing that adds fuel to a rivalry that's already one of the most heated in football. And if Carter becomes the star many believe he will be, this decision could haunt Philly for years. But that's the draft. It's unpredictable, emotional, and sometimes just plain cruel. Teams make moves, fans react, and legacies get written. Abdul Carter might be the next name to shake things up, and if he lands in New York, buckle up, because the NFC East is about to get even more intense. Even with all the excitement surrounding Abdul Carter, there are still some real concerns that teams are carefully weighing. The biggest red flags? Injuries. He didn't participate in the NFL Combine. He skipped his pro day, and those absences weren't strategic. They were due to recurring issues with his shoulders and feet. For a player at such a physically demanding position like edge rusher, durability is crucial. These are not minor knocks. They're the kind of injuries that can stick around, shorten careers, or limit availability when it matters most. That's why some scouts are wondering if he's worth a top 3 pick, despite all the upside. But then again, talent like his doesn't come around every year. When Carter is on the field, he's a game changer. His production at Penn State speaks for itself. 12 sacks, 43 pressures, and that elite pro football focus grade of 91.2. And that wasn't just a regular season stat line. He posted those numbers while dealing with injuries and still showed up big in the college football playoffs. In the most important games of the year, Carter was disruptive, fast, and impossible to ignore. That's why some people in the league are saying, injuries or not, he's the kind of player you gamble on. Because if he stays healthy, you're getting a superstar. He's also a high-character guy. Coaches and teammates speak highly of his leadership, his work ethic, and his competitive fire. And those intangibles matter. They're part of what separates great athletes from great professionals. One image that made the rounds recently showed Carter training with a gas mask on, a visual that sparked speculation. Was it just an intense workout shot, or was it meant to send a message? Some insiders even joked that it was a calculated move to scare off certain teams, maybe trying to fall to a preferred destination. Whatever the case, it added more drama to an already fascinating draft story. When you take a deeper look at his college career, it gets even more impressive. Over 42 games, Carter racked up 114 total pressures. That's nearly 1 pressure every game and almost 1 sack every other game. Consistency like that is rare, especially for a player who didn't play edge rusher full-time until his final year. In 2023, when he was rotated more often, he still delivered with 6.5 sacks, 28 pressures, and 6 tackles for loss. The year before that, 11 tackles for loss and 20 total pressures. The guy has been disruptive no matter how or where he lines up, and that's the kind of versatility NFL teams drool over. He can rush from the outside, drop into coverage if needed, or slide inside and still create chaos. Not every pass rusher can do that. Some are one-dimensional, speed guys off the edge who disappear against the run. But Carter's toolbox is full. He's not just fast, he's powerful. He's not just aggressive, he's disciplined. He reads plays, sheds blocks, and finishes. All of that combined makes him one of the most complete defensive players available. So let's go back to the scenario. If Carter does end up with the Giants, what does that mean for the NFC East? Simply put, it raises the stakes. Philly will have to prepare for him twice a season, knowing full well what he's capable of. And psychologically, that might hit harder than people realize. Losing a hometown hero to a division rival is painful. Watching him thrive there, that's even worse. But beyond emotions, this shifts the balance of power. The Giants have been rebuilding for years. This could be the move that helps them finally turn the corner. The Eagles, meanwhile, are in a tricky spot. They've had success recently, especially with their defensive line. But looking at this offseason, not every move has inspired confidence. They've spent big money on key players, maybe too much, and they're still trying to figure out the quarterback situation long-term. Their front office has earned some benefit of the doubt, but pressure is building. You can't afford to miss in a draft class like this, because if the Giants hit and you don't, the gap can close fast. That's why Carter's name will be one of the most talked about on draft night. He's not just another prospect. He's a potential face of a defense. He has the numbers, the highlights, the motor, and the mentality. If he can stay healthy and land in the right system, he might be one of those rare defenders who defines a generation. And if that system turns out to be New York, then Philly better be ready, because this rivalry might be entering a whole new era. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Nothing's off the table. That was the chilling phrase uttered by Philadelphia Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni during a post-practice media scrum yesterday, sending shockwaves through the NFL community. The subject? None other than Saquon Barkley, the same player who shattered franchise records, dominated opposing defenses, and led the Eagles to Super Bowl 59. In a season where Barkley ran for over 2,000 yards and earned 4 NFC Offensive Player of the Week titles, the mere suggestion of his departure seems almost unthinkable. Sirianni's comments came amid swirling speculation about internal tensions within the Eagles' locker room. We're constantly evaluating our roster, performance, attitude, chemistry. Just because someone has a big name or a big contract doesn't make them untouchable, Sirianni said. While he stopped short of confirming any decisions, his tone hinted at a potential rift behind the scenes. Some insiders suggest Barkley's high-profile role and vocal presence may have clashed with team dynamics late in the postseason. This development is especially jarring given Barkley's historic 2024 campaign. After signing a 3-year, $37.75 million deal in March, he wasted no time justifying the investment. Week after week, he carved up defenses, even breaking LeSean McCoy's single-season rushing record and falling just shy of Eric Dickerson's all-time mark. His explosive playoff performances, including a 205-yard, 2-touchdown outing against the Rams, were the stuff of legends. So why would Sirianni even hint at cutting him? Analysts point to 3 possible factors: salary cap strategy, power struggles within the coaching staff, and Barkley's own dissatisfaction with reduced postseason touches. While Barkley has not spoken publicly since Sirianni's comments, sources close to the player describe him as stunned and blindsided. Others say Barkley believes he has more than proven his worth and expects to be a centerpiece of the Eagles' offense moving forward. Whether Sirianni sees it that way remains a mystery. Saquon Barkley's talent is undeniable. As one of the most explosive running backs in the NFL, his combination of speed, agility, and strength makes him a constant threat on the field. His 2,000-yard season with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2024 demonstrated his elite ability to break tackles, accelerate through gaps, and make defenders miss with ease. Barkley's vision and balance allow him to read the game and react swiftly to even the smallest openings, a crucial skill for a player who thrives in high-pressure moments. One of Barkley's standout qualities is his versatility. Not only is he a dynamic ball carrier, but his ability to contribute in the passing game sets him apart from many other running backs. His soft hands and route-running ability make him a reliable target out of the backfield. This dual-threat capability gives the Eagles' offense a layer of unpredictability, making it difficult for opposing defenses to key in on one area of his game. Whether it's catching short passes or running deep routes, Barkley is a matchup nightmare for any linebacker or defensive back. Additionally, Barkley's work ethic and commitment to his craft are second to none. Known for his intense off-season training, he consistently seeks ways to improve his game. His dedication to maintaining peak physical condition is evident in his ability to carry the ball with power and sustain long drives. Even after suffering a few injuries earlier in his career, Barkley's resilience and ability to bounce back with even greater performances highlight his mental fortitude and determination to remain among the league's best. Finally, Barkley's leadership qualities are often overlooked, but they are a significant part of his impact on the Eagles. While he's not the most vocal player in the locker room, his performance and consistency on the field serve as an example to his teammates. His calm, focused demeanor during high-stakes games, combined with his willingness to push through adversity, instills confidence in his fellow players. Barkley's ability to rise to the occasion when the team needs him most makes him not only a star player, but also a true leader for the Philadelphia Eagles. As the offseason unfolds, fans are left asking, is this a motivational ploy, a contract chess move, or the beginning of a blockbuster decision that will reshape the Eagles' future? One thing is certain, with Sirianni's statement now echoing across every sports network and locker room, all eyes are on Philadelphia. And Saquon Barkley, once the untouchable hero, may now be standing on uncertain ground. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.